The Effects of Global Warming by KayScience.com. This here is planet Earth, with the land, the sea, and the ice caps at the North and South Pole. This is a representation of the land and the sea and the beach, and then habitats where humans live. An increase in temperature at the Earth's surface is global warming. That is global warming, and this can lead to the ice caps melting. Because if the Earth's average temperature is too warm, that can lead to the ice caps at the North and South Poles melting into the sea. So if the ice caps are melting, the water will enter the sea in liquid form, as you can see here. This will cause rising sea levels. So the sea levels are going to rise, which can cause more frequent flooding. And if glaciers melt, the water will run from the glaciers into the seas. So this here is a melting glacier, and the water will enter the seas and the lakes. The water enters the seas, this will cause rising sea levels, so the sea levels rise even more. And if the sea levels rise too much, this can lead to a loss of habitat for animals and humans too. So there is more flooding, this can lead to a loss of habitat, as you can see in this picture. It's question time. Attempt these questions to check your understanding. What we've got here is a representation of a large continent, where the most northern region is cooler, the middle region is a little bit warmer, and then you've got a more desert-like region towards the equator in the south, where the average temperature in the cooler northern region is 8 degrees Celsius. The average temperature in the more temperate climate is 16 degrees Celsius, and the hotter desert climate has an average temperature of 22 degrees Celsius. And there are 3 types of wild cat that live in each of the 3 sections of the continent. You've got A, B, and C. A has more fur, B has less fur, and C has the least amount of fur. Where cat A will sometimes venture into the middle region, which is a bit warmer, for food potentially, but not very far into the region. And cat C will go into the middle region for maybe food, and then return back to the warmer temperature. And cat B will just remain in the central region. So with global warming, let's say there is an average temperature increase from 8 degrees Celsius to 14 degrees Celsius, 16 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius, and 21 degrees Celsius to 26 degrees Celsius. This means that the desert region will now be too hot for cat C. So cat C is then going to permanently migrate into the middle region where it's slightly cooler. So in this desert region here, where it's now too hot, you'll no longer find cat C because it's permanently migrated to the middle cooler region. So cat C permanently migrates away from the desert region to the cooler middle region. So there's going to be a decrease in biodiversity in the desert region because animals are moving away because it's too hot. So cat B is now going to remain in its current area, but it's also now going to migrate to the now slightly warmer northern region. Because it's too hot, cat B will now migrate to the cooler conditions, which now look like this and no longer covered in snow. So the bear, with lots and lots of fur, is now going to find the 14 degrees average temperature way too hot. So it's too hot for the bear, so the bear is now going to die. And as you can see in this picture, this shows what can happen to bears when it gets too hot. They can't stand on ice to hunt, so they're more likely to die because they can't eat and breed. So now you see bear A die, so there's a decrease in biodiversity in the northern regions. And there's also going to be a reduction in biodiversity in the southern desert regions. And because it's too hot, fewer animals are going to migrate into the hotter desert conditions. So the migration patterns change. Animals are now going to permanently move away from the unbearably hot conditions. It's question time. Attempt these questions to check your understanding. Press pause to practice using those key words. The answers will follow. Press pause to go through your answers and make any corrections to your mistakes. Press pause to answer the questions. The answers will follow. And if you're stuck, just re-watch the video. Press pause to go through your answers and make any corrections to your mistakes.